The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future, such as the 1978 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 1982 Montreal Expos. Wrong button, Ron. Well, good afternoon. My name is Ron Juckett, and welcome to the National League playing game for that 70s tournament, or 60s tournament, where we will do exactly what we did with that 70s tournament. 8 teams, single elimination, 4 National League teams, 4 American League teams, and then a best of 3 final, thanks in large part to my buddy Kurt Berglund and his generous contribution to the channel. But the playing games are free. You don't have to worry about that, fine sir. These are teams that you guys picked last night in our chat with Kurt, and today we're going to see the 1965 Cincinnati Reds and the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals. These were teams that Kurt did not originally pick. You guys picked 3 from each league. 2 of them will play against each other, and then we will seed and do a proper tournament. So the winner of this game will make the tournament, and so just being fair and not putting any of these teams at a disadvantage, you're going to see Bob Gibson pitch against Jim Maloney in a couple minutes. Bob Gibson, if he wins, or Jim Maloney, if he wins, will be eligible to pitch when the tournament actually starts. Just to make it fair, and that will be the same case. The American League playoff, or the playing game, will be between the 62 Los Angeles Angels and the 1967 Boston Red Sox. It just makes it easier on my end not to create everything all at once. So there you have it. It's the Reds and the Cardinals. Now, these 2 teams are very different from each other. The Cardinals are a pitching first team, okay with the bat in 67. They beat the Red Sox in the World Series. Good pitching with Bob Gibson and Steve Carlton, and the hitting is a lot better than it will be in 1968. For the Reds, there's a lot of mashing here. It's Frank Robinson's last year with the Reds, and early Pete Rose. You got speed, you got Vada Pinson, you got some platoons, and Jim Maloney, who I believe threw either in 64 or 65 a 200-pitch no-hitter. So I'm not sure if we're going to see complete games. The computer's going to run the Reds. I'm going to run the Cardinals. That's enough of my mouth running. Let's play some baseball, shall we? As Retro Sports Network presents another Patreon special. Today, the National League playoff, or playing game to that 60s tournament. It's from Busch Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. It is the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals and the 1965 Cincinnati Reds. And if you're interested in either having a game done for you for the holidays or just throwing a tip in my jar, patreon.com/Retro Sports Network. The band was getting kind of itchy to do something again. And we say hello to Apple Chatter and Roger Ward. Sean DeMarco, hey. Glad to have you along. Braves for life, thank you so much. Kurt Berglund, how are you? Happy Sunday baseball demos. Dave Little is along for the ride. And so glad to have you along on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here. We picked July 20th, 1965, just a random weeknight, and being at St. Louis, it is hot as inside of your mouth. It's 96 degrees, clear skies, and winds blowing in 15 miles an hour from right center field. And because it was grass in 1967, that can actually go with a grass picture of Busch Stadium. How about that? So let's introduce to you who Bob Gibson will face in the 1965 Cincinnati Reds. Tommy Harper will lead off in left field. Pete Rose is at second. He'll bat second. Frank Robinson, the right fielder, will bat third. Darren Johnson, I think that's who it is the third baseman. He'll bat fourth. Is it Vada or Veda? Well, it's Pinson, and he should be a Hall of Famer. He's the center fielder. He'll bat fifth. Gordy Coleman is your first baseman. They had Tony Perez, but with a righty Gibson, you get the lefty Coleman. Johnny Edwards behind the plate will bat 7th. Leo Cardenas, the shortstop, will bat 8th. And Jim Maloney is on the mound and will bat 9th. Ivan, how are you? Good to have you along. So Ivan is one of the big guys behind Time Travel Baseball. Bob Gibson was hurt, I guess, in 67 for a stretch. He only went 13-7 at an ERA of 2.98 and 175 in the third innings. He allowed 151 hits, 10 homers. He only started 23 games. He walked 40 and struck out 147. And so let's meet the defense behind Mr. Gibson. Lou Brock is in left field. He's a 6 and a 4. Kurt Flood a 10 and an 8 in center field. Roger Maris a 6 and a 6 in right. Mike Shannon, who I don't think has ever been quiet his entire life, a 5 at third. Dal Maxwell, or Dahl, is an 8 at short. Julian Javier is a 6 at second. And the baby bull Orlando Cepeda is a 6 at first. The battery, Bob Gibson can field his position. He's a 10. And Tim McCarver is a 7 and a 5. So with all that out of the way, DC. That was really fun last night. The Reds could really hit. Vada. Okay. Glad to know. Hope you're feeling better, Al. And Al says that Gibby probably think he broke his leg in 67, which would explain why he would only get the 23 starts. Tommy Harper, by the way, steps to the plate at 257, 18 homers, and 64 RBI. He had 35 stolen bases. And so Gibson says, shut up, Ron, and play this game. Okay, I will. Pitch to Harper is swung on and missed, strike 3. So a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, which is chased by Harper, and that's how this one starts. Here's Pete Rose at 312, 11 homers, and 81 RBI. Cardinals, I believe, are a 100-win team. If they do win this game, they're going to be pretty close to a top seed. The Reds won 85. So if they win this game, they will be the 4 seed. Guaranteed. Pitch to Rose. Little number down to Javier. Over to Cepeda, and that's an out. So 2 out. And Gibson hasn't drilled anybody yet. Here's Frank Robinson. Just by circumstance, all these Red players have Reds pictures. Pretty amazing, huh? Robbie in his last year in Cincinnati, 296, 33 homers, 33 doubles, and 113 RBI. He was hit, Captain Carl says, he was hit in the leg by a line drive off the bat of Roberto Clemente. Ouch. Oh, that would sting like a mother. Pitch to Robinson. Popped up, left side, Maxwell, and Shannon has it, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We played half an inning in St. Louis, Cincinnati nothing. Here come the Cardinals. And Lou Brock just taking some practice swings as Jim Maloney warms up. O'Toole was the one that Clinton said I should pitch in this game. But Clinton, the historian's memory is kind of faulty because O'Toole's ERA in 1965 was 5.97. Guess who's not pitching a one-game playoff? Jim Maloney, however, went 20-9 in 65 with an ERA of 2.54 and 255 in the third innings. He allowed 189 hits, 13 homers. He walked 110, and that's dangerous with this team. Thanks to Rocky Ayers, by the way, for subbing to the channel. And Maloney struck out 244. Oh my God, he tried to continue? That's nasty. So let's beat the Cardinal lineup. Lou Brock will lead off in left field. Kurt Flood is a center fielder. He'll bat second. The baby bull, Orlando Cepeda, will bat third. Ouch. I like that, Todd. Tim McCarver behind the plate will bat fourth. Roger Maris will bat fifth. I just kind of went with on-base percentage and build this lineup. So if it's wrong, It's not my fault. Julian Javier will bat second and bat sixth and play second. Mike Shannon, the third baseman, will bat seventh. Dahl Maxville is the shortstop batting eighth, and Bob Gibson, who threw 11 pitches, will bat ninth. For the Redlegs, it is Tommy Harper in left. He's a 5 and a 4. Vada Pinson is a 7 and 7 in center. Frank Robinson a 6 and a 7 in right. It is Johnson at third, and we'll find out his fielding rating in a moment. Leo Cardenas is a 10 at short. That's pretty good. Pete Rose a 5 at second. Gordy Coleman a 4 at first. On the mound, Jim Maloney acquits himself pretty well. He's a 7, and Johnny Edwards is an 8 and a 7 behind the plate. Lou Brock at 299. He's not going to bunt. 21 homers, 32 doubles and 12 triples, and 76 RBI. Maloney says he's ready, and so is Brock, and that's a little nubber down to Johnson over to Coleman for the out. So Johnson, by the way, is a 4 at third. Kurt Flood at 335, 5 homers, and 50 RBI. So glad to have some new people along. Tommy Harper got around for sure. So Kurt Flood, Cleveland Indians, really? When did he play for the Indians? Maloney's ready. Here's the pitch. And Flood sends this one into shallow center. Pinson comes in, makes the catch for the out. 2 away for Orlando Cepeda. At 325, 25 homers, and 111 RBI. Apichandra says he played with Louis Tiant. Okay. Well, he did win the Red Sox, too. So Cepeda waves it back and forth. Maloney from the strike line. Ground ball, base hit, right side. I suppose stretch now. And Cepeda's on with a 2-out single for Tim McCarver, the pride of Memphis, Tennessee, and the Fox Broadcasting Company. 295, 14 homers. He could hit and played a long, long time and was a great catcher. 69 RBI. 2 out, first base hit of the ball game. Maloney, ready, delivers, and McCarver sends this one to right. Robinson is there, and Frank will haul it in. No runs, a hit, no errors. We played one. It's brutally hot here in St. Louis. Reds and Cardinals, no score. So Deron Johnson, taken at Shea Stadium. You can always tell the pastel colors. Vada Pinson and Jerry Coleman batting for the Reds here in the second. Johnson at 287, 32 homers, 130 RBI. The Mets are actually in this tournament, Mr. Gardner, the 69 version. And wasn't Kurt Berglund wonderful last night? I really, really enjoyed that. So if I've not had you on and you create some sort of content or help with the game, send me a message, and I'd love to have you on the Ron Juckett Show. Gibson delivers. Johnson ground ball to Javier by the bag at second. Over to Cepeda for the out, 1 away. Silvada at 305. 22 homers and 94 RBI. This team could mash. And maybe in a one-game best of, Maloney could pitch them to a win. But their pitching staff is... obviously it's pitching that held them back. Wasn't hitting. And Pinson sends this one into left center. Flood, he's right there, 2 out. For Gordy Coleman at 302, 14 homers and 57 RBI. With a lefty on the mound, Tony Perez would get the start. So that's a platoon position for Coleman. Yeah, we were talking about that. Dion did right by McCarver. Todd B says, every time Dave says, let's go Mets, makes me think of the commercial where the guy mowed that to the neighbor's lawn. And if it was George Hendrick's lawn, it would have grown in there permanently, right? Gibby deals, and Coleman strikes out. He swung on and missed a fastball for strike 3. That's 2 for Gibson. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After an inning and a half, it's the Reds nothing, the Cardinals nothing. So Roger Maris, Julian Javier, and Mike Shannon for St. Louis here in the second. Maris, 261, 9 homers and 55 RBI. Hit righties well. He hit him at a 274 clip. Maloney deals, and there's a base hit right field. Robinson will grab it on a hop, and the Cardinals have their second hit of the ball game. Javier, 281, 14 homers and 64 RBI. Love that smile on his face in that picture. His son, Stan, of course, was a big part of those Oakland teams of the late 80s and early 90s. Maloney from the stretch struck him out. He got him to chase a 2-2, and that's the first strikeout for Maloney. So 1 out for Shannon. 245, 12 homers, and 77 RBI. Dave is big into football replays right now. You realize I kind of put some dates on that football show we did, Dave. I don't think you can release it quite yet, unless you've already done so. Pitch to Shannon, gets away from Edwards, and Maris will go to second on the wild pitch. You notice I had the choice, and of course at 95%, Maris moves into scoring position. So it's a 1-0 count to Shannon. Maxville on deck. Maloney's pitch, and there's a fly ball left center field. Pinson is there, and Maris will go back and tag and hold. So 2 out for Dahl Maxville. What a fresh-faced kid he is in that picture, huh? 227, a homer, and 41 RBI. Better against the lefties than the righties, but he's a good defender. Dave is also... You know, Todd, now that you say that, if Dave Gardner had his own Topps card from the era, that would be the cartoon on the back. Dave is also into exotic art, as he'd be, you know, with his watercolors and an easel. I can see that, can't you? Pitch to Maxville. Is there a little looper into left field? No, it's snared by Johnson, the third baseman. How about that? The Cardinals leave Maris on second. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors. After 2 with Cincinnati, nothing. St. Louis, nothing. Edwards, Cardenas, and Maloney to face Gibby here in the third. Bob at 23 pitches, Maloney at 29. Edwards at 267, 17 homers and 51 RBI. Yes, Sean. That would be great, Todd B. Exotic for the purposes of this public conversation. Of course you like to finger paint. That would be there, yes. That would be great. There was a guy on one of the card collecting forums that made his own cards. He called them Bob's, but they were, you know, the top design. You've probably seen one of them. That's the, oh gosh, who's the wrestler? Randy Poffo. It came up in the Cardinals or the Reds organization. If Dave Little's still watching, he'll know that. I want to say the guy that does the Slim Jim stuff. Macho Man, is that right? Anyway, someone made a card of him clean shaven, and it looks great. Edwards, as I gave you the numbers. We start the third, and he will pop this one up. Right side, Maris will get it for the out. Wow, it's cooled off to 94 here in St. Louis, and that wind is howling in at 15. Leo Cardenas at 287, 11 homers and 57 RBI. Macho Man. Bob Lemke's the one that made the cards. Yep. And so that's cool. Okay, I thought that was right. All right, with the screen there, messages back and forth do get seen, so be polite. Cardenas, 1 out, top the third. Gibson deals, and that will be a little blooper into right field. Maris will pick it up. First hit for the Redlegs. And Cardenas is going for 2. The throw into Maxville is not in time. And so Maris kind of got cute with it, and Cardenas, realizing that the chances of getting a lot of hits off of Gibson just weren't going to be there, decided to go for the extra base and got it. So Maloney's in a situation where he's going to bunt. Cepeda and Shannon come down to have a conversation with Maloney. Gibson delivers, and Maloney strikes out. The infield expected the bunt, and Dick Sisler said to swing. And he struck out. And so Gibson will take that. 32 pitches through 9 batters. 2 2/3 innings, the 1 hit, and 3 strikeouts. And that'll bring up Tommy Harper, who struck out his first time up. It's the Turtle Lady. Some are very nicely done. And some are not. Bobby, how are you, my dear? Bobby Catalano. Pitch to Harper into right field. Maris will go back. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, and no errors. 2.5 down. Cincinnati and St. Louis are scoreless in Seattle. Poor St. Louis. So Bob Gibson swinging here at 133 and 3 RBI. He struck out 26 times in 60 at-bats. This is the reason why we have a DH. Maloney deals, and Gibson draws a walk. And so karma comes back to bite me in the tuchus. And now I bring up Lou Brock. So Maloney, 33 pitches through 2+ innings. 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And Brock is going to be swinging here. Runner on first. 2 hits for the Cardinals, 1 hit for Cincinnati. And that's it. Everything else is zeros. Maloney deals, and Brock slaps that one to Cardinals. Should be 2. Rose for 1. And Brock is safe on the fielder's choice. So there's no throw, and Brock has it, and Brock is probably going to steal here. Here's Flood. I could hit and run. I might hit and run here. He's 0 for 1. And a good... He's an 8 out of 10 with a hit and run. Maloney starting to sweat a bit. Still 93 degrees. Hit and run is on. Flood makes contact, and that's good. That's slapping the left field for a single. Brock goes into third, and the Cardinals have runners on the corners and 1 out for Cepeda. Just kind of like the way you drew that up. He singled his first time up, 1 for 1. So Brock dances off a third. Flood on first. Cepeda at the plate. Maloney, who contrary to popular belief does not live in the land of baloney, delivers. And there's a ground ball to Rose. Brock will try to score. Cardinals for 1. Throw to Coleman. And that is... Is it? Coleman kept it on the bag, and that will retire the side. Maloney gets the pitcher's best friend, and the Cardinals get nothing, honey. They just get a hit, and that's all. After 3, it's the Cardinals nothing, the Reds nothing. This is the 1960s tournament, or that 60s tournament, National League playoff game, right here on Retro Sports Network. Let's take a moment to see what's coming up on the channel. Coming to Retro Sports Network, Labor Day weekend. The NFL returns to RSN, presented this year by DigitalDice.com, your home for the best podcast on cards and dice, computer, console, and all things sports gaming. An opening week extravaganza for 86 starts Tuesday, September 3rd at noon from Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Cleveland Browns take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears will get the rings, raise a flag, and hope to keep Jim McMahon upright while the Cleveland Browns start their march to what they hope to be an AFC championship. Thursday live, it's the Denver Broncos and John Elway trying to get to their first Super Bowl. They take on their hated rivals, the Los Angeles Raiders, at noon on Thursday, the actual NFL kickoff day, September 5th. And a Wednesday tape special. The New York Giants begin their hopeful Super Bowl run with a trip to Dallas And the Cowboys. Can the Cowboys dynasty hang on for one more year, or is this the time that Phil Simms rises and brings the Giants to the Super Bowl? 3 fantastic games, 3 days, all right here on Retro Sports Network, home of the champions, and presented by DigitalDice.com. And amazingly, that only took 2 takes to do. Okay, we go to the 4th. It'll be Rose, Robinson, and Johnson for Cincinnati. They have 1 hit off of Gibson so far. Rose is 0 for 1. And remember, Tuesday, September 3rd, the start of our 1986 football season, brought to you by DigitalDice.com. Pitch to Rose from Gibby is a base hit into right field. That's going all the way to the wall. Pete's going for 2, and Charlie Hustle slides in safe. And so the Reds have a runner in scoring position for Frank Robinson, who's 0 for 1. And Gibson, Rose just kind of brushes off his pants, and Gibson kind of glares out at him. Robinson doesn't dare dig in. Gibby deals. And there's a fly ball deep to left. Back goes Brock in the corner. He makes the catch against the wall. Rose will walk all the way over to third. And the throw goes in the infield. So with 1 out here in the 4th, the Reds have a runner on third. For Deron Johnson, who's 0 for 1. Red Shandian says you want him in, and Gibby says no. I'm getting him. Shandian says okay. Pitch to Johnson. Into left field. That ball is driven. Brock and Flood go back. It's off the wall. Rose scores easily, and Johnson's on with a double. And the Reds lead it 1-0 here in the 4th with 1 out. For Vonda Pinson, who's 0 for 1. So, wowzers. So Gibby gives up that first run. And Pinson is at the plate. He's 0 for 1. Gibson delivers. That's into right field. Maris in the corner makes the catch. Johnson will go back and tag. The throw to third is not in time. So Maris has a good arm, and Johnson has okay speed, and Shannon couldn't get the tag down. So 2 out and a runner on third for Gordy Coleman, who's 0 for 1. He struck out. And so the Red fans here are going to be great. They're happy. Pitch to Coleman. Up the middle. Javier behind the bag at second. Over to Cepeda for the out to retire the side. But the Redlegs get a run. On 2 hits and no errors. After 3.5 at Cincinnati 1. St. Louis 0. So it'll be McCarver, Maris, and Javier to face Maloney here in the bottom of the 4th. Jim deals, and McCarver ground ball to Rose at second, over to Coleman for the out. So a sellout here at Busch, but there are a few Red fans having a good time right now. Roger Maris singled his first time up. Maloney cooling off now, 92 degrees. Was 96 at first pitch. Maris hits this one into right center. Pinson got a late jump on it, and Maris takes second rather easily. He's in there standing. And that'll bring up Julio Javier, who has struck out his first time up. So second time through, a little bit more productive for these 2 teams. Pitch to Javier. Struck him out. Maloney got him to chase on an 0-2 fastball at 95 for the second out. And for Jim, that's 2 strikeouts. And here's Mike Shannon. And all this talk of McCarver and Shannon makes me want to do an ad for KMOX St. Louis, but I won't do it. A proud member of the CBS radio network. Pitch to Shannon is a ground ball to Johnson at third. Long throw across, and that will retire the side. So we go to the 5th. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 4, Cincinnati 1, St. Louis 0. So Johnny Edwards, Leo Cardenas, and Jim Maloney to face Gibby here in the 5th. 52 pitches for Gibby, 55 for Maloney. And Edwards is 0 for 1. Gibson deals. into center field, left center. Flood has to run a while and makes a fantastic catch. He made a diving catch in the power alley for the out. 1 away. 1-0 Reds. Top the 5th. Here's Cardinals. He had a double. His first time up. Gibson. Ground ball to short. Maxville with a tremendous diving stop over to first for the out. So Flood and Maxville have robbed Cincinnati of 2 hits. What a play by Maxville, deep in the hole, and then the bang-banger to Cepeda for the out. And now I'll bring up Maloney at 225 and 6 RBI. Should have bunted his first time up, but the computer had him swing. Stolen bases, I think I'll have to take a look to see if they're right. Someone asked that earlier. Pitch to Maloney. Ground ball to Javier. Behind the bag at second, over to Cepeda for the out. So, a clean inning for Gibson. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home, hey, it's a pitcher's duel. It's the Reds 1, the Cardinals nothing. And here is the in-game box score. Maloney, 4 hits in 4 innings. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Gibson, 3 hits through 5 and 61 pitches, 3 strikeouts. But Pete Rose was doubled home by Deron Johnson, and that's the lone run of the game. So 3 hits for the Reds, 4 hits for the Cardinals. Dahl Maxville, Bob Gibson, and Lou Brock here in the bottom of the 5th. Maxville's 0 for 1. Maloney delivers, ball 4. So St. Louis has the tying run on, and Gibson's going to bunt. He walked his first time up. Coleman and Johnson come down to field it. You're not going to have a conversation with Gibson. And that one is bunted down there. Edwards picks it up over to Rose covering first, and that's an out. That's a good bunt. So score at 2-4 on the sacrifice. 1 out for Brock, who's 0 for 2. I don't know, Sean. Oh, the Red Stockings. Yes, so time B answers Sean DeMarco's question. And that's what this community is for. Lou Brock is 0 for 2. Maloney threw 18 batters. 61 pitches, 4 1/3 innings, 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 2. And Brock, ground ball, Rose in front of the bag, throws it over to first to retire the speedy Brock. And Maxville moves to third. 2 out for Flood, who was singled 1 for 2. It'll be the top of the lineup for the Reds in the 6th. Pitch to Flood. Base hit right center field. Flood rounds first. Maxville will score. And we're knotted at 1. It was Red Stockings were too long to put onto George Hendrick jersey, I think. So Cepeda 1 for 2. He is singled and grounded into a double play. And this game is knotted at 1. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. Maloney got him. A run on a hit. No errors. After 5, it is the Reds 1 and the Cardinals 1. And so Gibson comes out for the 6th, of course, to face Harper, Rose, and Robinson. Tommy is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch to Harper, and there's a fly ball right field. Maris will get that for the out, 1 away. Here's Rose. Rose doubled and scored in the 4th. The lone Reds run. And the Cardinals responded in the bottom of the 5th. Gibson delivers, and Rose just kind of stuck out that took us a little too far and gets drilled. It says shoulder, we'll say took us. And so Gibson growls as Rose kind of whistles his way down to first. So here's Robinson. Frank is 0 for 2 and is due here. So Gibson kind of steaming. It's cooled off to 90 degrees. Pitch to Robbie. Popped up. left side. Maxfield calls for it. Has it for the out, 2 away. For Johnson, 1 for 2. He doubled home Rose in the 4th. So Rose on first. Gibson just has the disposition of someone who would put broken glass in with his scrambled eggs in the morning. Pitch to Johnson is a ground ball, base hit left side. Rose will hold at second. Oh no, he's going to go for third. Shannon made the bad play. They're going to try it again, and Brock will throw. I can't see it. He is... I don't know. He's out. Rose slid past the bag, and that's the inning. So Rose was safe and slid past the bag. You can see this here on the replay. Bad play by Shannon. Brock with the throw, and will it show it? Yeah, Rose went running, and he just slid too far. His hand left the bag, and Shannon put the tag on. So that's the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Reds 1, the Cardinals 1. Appa Chatter, how are you? Tribe fan, how are you? Time to pull the starters. So Charlie out-hustled himself there. Brings up McIver, who's 0 for 2, as we start the bottom of the 6th. 1-1 to score. Maloney deals, and McIver slaps that one in the hole and right for a base hit. So 6 hits for the Cardinals and 4 for the Reds, and that'll bring up Maris, who is 2 for 2. He is singled and doubled. Al, I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Pitch to Maris is a pop into center field. Pinson comes charging in to make the catch for the out, 1 away. So here's Javier. Julian is 0 for 2. Maloney has whiffed him twice. And now Jim delivers, and Javier base hit left side. McIver will hold at second. And the Cardinals are playing Punch and Judy here with the Reds here in the bottom of the 6th. 7 hits for St. Louis, 4 for the Reds, and Shannon is 0 for 2. Pitch from Maloney. Got him! He got him to look at an 0-2 fastball for strike 3, and that's 4 for Maloney and 2 big out. For Maxfield, who was 0 for 1, he has walked and scored. Maloney deals, left field, Harper makes, nope, can't make the catch. He reached in, and somebody from East St. Louis made the play. And so the count is full, 3-2. Maxfield waves it back and forth. Maloney from the wide, line drive to Rose, and Pete leaps and makes the catch. Maxfield is stunned as Rose had to get some altitude to make that play. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We played 6 at Cincinnati 1, St. Louis 1. Hell, no one said baseball was a polite game, Sean. I've never heard that before. I've played a lot of it, but I kind of tuned it out after a while. Here's Pinson. It'll be Pinson, Jerry Coleman, and Johnny Edwards here for the Reds in the 7th. Vada's 0 for 2. I don't believe that you're kidding. It just never caught my ear. Pitch to Pinson is a ground ball, base hit right side. Maris will pick it up, and Gibson snarls as Pinson takes a lead off of first. Here's Coleman. Gordy is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yeah, Rose has at least a 4-inch vertical leap and probably was the title role suggestion for White Men Can't Jump. I'm just trying to think of Pete trying not to leap. Gibson and McIver have a few words, and Gibby says, "Get your butt back there." Pitch to Coleman is a ground ball, foul, third base side. And the count is 0-2. Gibby delivers, and Coleman hits a ground ball to Javier, flips it to Maxfield for 1, over to Cepeda, and that should be 2. It is. That is 2. A double play And Gibson snarls in appreciation. Here's Edwards. He's 0 for 2. So a run on 5 hits for the Reds, they've left 3 on. A run on 7 hits for the Cardinals, they've left 7 on. Gibson deals. Edwards into right. Maris will make the play, and that will retire the side. Last call for Budweiser. No runs, 1 hit, no error. Stretch time here in St. Louis. It's the Reds and Cardinals tied at 1. Just gonna let the band play for a second while I take a drink. Somewhere over in the KMOX radio booth, Harry Carey is trying to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and Jack Buck is trying to plug his ears with cotton. And Bob Gibson says, I want to hit. Let's start the game. He walked his first time up. He's 0 for 0 with the bunt. Bottom of the 7th, Maloney delivers, and he got Gibson to strike out. He swung on and missed a 2-2 fastball. So that's 5 for Jim. 94 pitches through 27 batters, 6 in the 3rd inning, 7 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Brings up Brock, who's 0 for 3, and Flood to follow. We'll see what the AI does with Maloney. Pitch count-wise, he's fine, but he's due up 2nd in the top of the 8th. Brock isn't going to bunt, and Maloney got him to chase on an 0-2 pitch for strike 3. That's 6 for Jim. And that'll bring up Flood, who was singled twice and driven in a run. Well, they all drank rather heavily, I think, in that booth. Maloney deals. Flood, base hit left side in the corner. Harper gets it, and Flood's on with a double. 2 out, runner on 2nd for Cepeda, who's 1 for 3. He has singled, grounded into a double play, and struck out. And Phil Rizzuto indeed says, holy cow. And Harry, of course, no matter whether it was the Cardinals, Athletics, yes, he was in Oakland for a year, White Sox, or Cubs, was always a Bud man. Pitch to Cepeda. Well, he's not going to get the chance to bat, as they're putting him on for McIver, who is 1 for 3. So runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 out for Tim. 1-1, bottom of the 7th. It'll be Maris on deck, and for the Reds, Cardenas, pitcher spot, and Harper for Gibson in the 8th. Pitch from Maloney. McIver into left center. Pinson makes the catch to retire the side. No runs. 1 hit and no errors. The walk doesn't hurt after 7. It's still 1-1. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have done the walk there, but I'd rather face McIver than Cepeda. Avery Doyle knocking back a few as well. So let's see what they do. Cardenas will start the inning. He had the double. 1 for 2. Gibby delivers, and he struck him out. 0-2. Swung on and missed on the fastball. That's 4 for Gibson. And I guess I'm channeling my inner Dizzy Dean here. He struck him out. So let's see what they do with Maloney, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He will stay in the game, and Gibson says, go sit down there, big boy. He looked at a 1-2 fastball on the outside corner for strike 3. So 2 out for Harper, who was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So through 27 batters, Gibson 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits and 5 strikeouts. The run was earned, as it was against Maloney. Pitch to Harper, ball 4. So that's the first walk given up by Gibby. And that brings up Rose, who is 1 for 2. He has doubled and scored. That came in the 4th. Bob Murphy drinking Miller Lite and painting a word picture. And Bob Uecker is sitting in the front row. Pitch to Rose is a ground ball to first. Cepeda will take it himself, and that will retire the side. We played 7.5 here in St. Louis. Cincinnati and and the Cardinals are still tied at 1. So Maris, Javier, and Shannon to face Maloney here in the 8th. And Maris is 2 for 3. He singled once and doubled. Maloney deals, and Maris draws a walk. So the Cardinals have the potential winning run on first. Gibson, plenty of gas for the 9th. If they do get the lead, he would try to finish it. Here's Javier. Julian 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out twice. Kurt was a big fan of Ned Martin. Where'd you listen to him in Wisconsin? And Maris has indeed had a great game. Pitch to Javier, ball 4. And so now the potential winning run is on, and an insurance run is on for Mike Shannon, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Maloney, now down to 87 degrees, and that wind is now coming in from 15 to left center. Maloney delivers, struck him out. Shannon looks at an 0-2 color at the knees, and that's 7 for Maloney. He was looking at the knee cheese. 1 out for Dahl Maxfield, who was 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. And now, what do you do with Gibson? So Maxfield, big bat here. Oh, Kurt collects Red Sox broadcasts from that. Ken Coleman was my favorite. Pitch to Maxfield. Up the middle. Maloney rose for 1. Over to Coleman. It will not matter. The side is retired on a double play. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th. What did you expect from a tournament game? Cincinnati won. St. Louis won. So Gibson says, yeah, I'm strong. I'm staying out there. But he'll probably be pinch hit for. To start the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Frank Robinson, Duran Johnson, and Vada Pinson for the Reds here in the 9th. Frank is 0 for 3. And so let's see what we got going on here. Robbie's 0 for 3. Into center field, Flood, 1 out. Gibson is kind of barking at Shane Deast. I want in. I want in. Shane Deast says no one's warming behind you. And Gibson points to the plate and says, I want in. Duran Johnson 2 for 3. A double and an RBI. Drove in Rose in the 4th. Pitch from Gibby. Struck him out. A 1-2 pitch on the black inside is number 6 for Gibson. And that'll bring up Pinson, who's 1 for 3. And Shane Dean says, well, you get Pinson, you can bat. Gibson snarls and delivers. Ground ball, base hit left side. Maxfield got a late jump on it, and it got past him. And so Pinson, the potential winning run is on first. For Gordy Coleman, who's 0 for 3. Has grounded into a double play and struck out. Throw to first. Pinson's back. Maxfield good to the last out. I can't imagine. Ron Santo just told Bob, you could get out of my seat. Gibson delivers. There goes Pinson. Throw down to Maxfield, and he's safe. So Gibby stares in at the dugout. Shane Deans is sitting on his hands. 2 out, 1-0 count to Coleman. Here's the pitch. Gordy into center field. Flood makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. Gibson says, I got one more. And Red says, okay, you got it. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's cardiac time. Reds and Cardinals knotted at 1. So a run on 6 hits for Cincinnati and no errors. They've left 5 on. St. Louis, a run on 8 hits and no errors. And they've left 10 on. So Gibson will bat, because he wants to pitch the 10th if need be. Brock and Flood to follow. Maloney deals, and Gibson grounds that one foul third base side, and the count is 0-2. Maxville, the National League answer to Ray Euler. Absolutely. Gibby waves it back and forth. The 0-2. Ball 4! That's why we don't do this pitch by pitch. So Gibson has drawn his second walk. And Shane Dean says, no, you're coming out. Bobby Tolan will pinch run. Brock is 0 for 4. Can't bunt. And so Tolan, they're holding him on. He's not going to steal, but anything in the gap might win the ball game. Maloney deals. Ground ball to Cardinals. This can be 2, isn't it? Rose for 1 over to Coleman, and Brock beat it out. And so that backfires, and Gibson, well, you know, you got to win the game. So the infield will guard the lines. Coleman and Johnson hug the corners. Here's Flood. He's 3 for 4. Brock is going to go. Maloney delivers. There goes Brock. Throw down to Rose. He's in there. So Brock steals it easily. And so the winning run is on second with 1 out. With the red-hot Curt Flood. And if you're going to walk Flood, you're going to face Cepeda. You don't want to face Cepeda. Flood is 3 for 4. He has singled twice, doubled, and drove in the lone Cardinal run in the 5th. Maloney deals into left field. Harper, 2 out. Brock will not tag. So now you probably walk Cepeda. They've walked him once already, 1 for 3. That won't make Gibby happy, but you got to do it because you got to put yourself in the position to win. And if it was Gibson running to second, that probably would have been a double play. Edwards and Maloney confer, and will they pitch to Cepeda? Yes, they do, and they struck him out. No runs, no hits, and no errors. And Cepeda watched a fastball for strike 3. Reds fans, you live another day. We go to the 10th. Cincinnati won. St. Louis won. Wow. They got away with pitching to Cepeda. And so Nellie Briles will come in to pitch. Nellie, talk about a Swiss Army knife, 14-5 with 6 saves and a 2.43 ERA. Computer, by the way, runs the visitors. And so anything good they do, give them credit. Anything questionable they do, question it. 155 in the 3rd innings for Nelson. 139 hits, 8 homers. He walked 40 and struck out 94. Edwards, Cardenas, and I can't imagine Maloney pitching the 11th or the 10th. No, you know, I think Gibby understands. You got to do it. If Gibson hadn't reached, he was going to pitch the 10th. But when you walk, you got to try to win the game. Pitch to Edwards is 0 for 3. Long drive left center field. Flood misplays it, and Edwards is into second standing. Blame Dave. Dave Gardner? I do want to see that. Dave is a big fan of exotic art. I love that. Here's Cardenas. He's 1 for 3. And Briles is going to get his face rearranged if they lose this game. Pitch from Nelly. Ground ball to Javier. Over to Cepeda for the out. So they get the out, but Edwards, the go-ahead run, is on third. Now what do the Reds do with Maloney? He is 0 for 3. For the moment, you're not going to walk him. Infield playing in. And Art Shamsky, there you go. will come in at the first pinch hitter for the Reds. He's at 260, 2 homers and 10 RBI. And you're not going to walk Shamsky to face Harper. You're playing him in. Bryles can strike out batters. Let's see what happens here. Nelly deals. He struck him out. Oh, ho, ho. An 0-2 pitch, an off-speed one, paints the inside corner, and that's strike 3. And that's a huge second out. And Bryles, at least for the moment, relieved that he'll have 2 eyes, a lips, and a nose, will face Tommy Harper, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. I would think that with 1 out. I wasn't sure what the Reds were going to do, if they would pinch hit or not, so I went with in. Get him on, get him over, get him in. And at the moment, not much has gone in. Pitch to Harper. Line drive past Javier. That'll get Edwards in, and the Reds lead 2-1. And so the St. Louis Post-Dispatch has my name on the front page calling me a loser already. Here's Rose, 1 for 3. He has doubled and scored. Harper on first, Robinson on deck. So that's a huge run, 2-1. McCarver, Maris, and Javier for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 10th. Dave Little trying to get some revenge what happened to his poor 73 Reds in that 70s tournament. Pitch to Rose from Bryles. Popped up. Right side. Cepeda. No. Somebody from St. Charles makes that play. That was deep. And the count is 2-2. Pitch from Bryles. Rose up the middle. Javier. Long throw to first. And that will retire the side. Billy McCool. McCool. Wearing an oversized hat, comes in to close this one out. He was 9-10 in 65 with 21 saves, but he has an ERA of 4.27 in 105 in the third innings. He allowed 93 hits, 9 homers. He walked 47 and struck out 120. Shane Deans looks at his bench and says, do I hit him? McCarver can hit. Harper played with Tion in... Clark Griswold cut that last souvenir. Okay. 68, 72, and 74. I'll show it again, Sean. McCarver hits lefties at a 273 clip. That's not bad, so I'm not going to yank him. We'll see about Maris. There's really nobody, though, for St. Louis who hits lefties well. Alex Johnson, I suppose. We'll see what Maris can do. But right now, it's McCarver to face McCool. He's a 4-rated fielder, by the way. Pitch to McCarver. Little number down to Rose, over to Coleman for the out, 1 away. Yeah, that bench is not very good. Maris. They'll pinch hit with Alex Johnson, because Maris only hit 203 against lefties. Johnson at 223, a homer and 12 RBI. But right now, it's just get somebody on base. The Reds 2 outs away from an unlikely berth in that 60's tournament. Got him! McCool got him on a 1-2 fastball on the inside corner, and that'll bring up Javier, who can hit against lefties. He's 1 for 3. He has singled, walked, and struck out twice. The Boober, yeah, it's scary bad. And so Dave Little and the Reds crew, Appichatter, Dave Little, Al Red Sox fan who loves the underdogs. Everybody standing now. McCool winds and deals. Javier in the right. Robinson will turn and watch that one go. Julian Javier with a 2-out game-saving home run has tied this game at 2. Here it is again. Javier. He just clubbed that one into the upper deck. And so we'll go to the 11th. It'll be Robinson, Johnson, and Pinson. That's assuming that Mike Shannon doesn't win the game right here. So McCool has blown the save. 2 out. Nobody on. 2-2, bottom of the 10th. McCool deals, and Shannon in the center field. That will stay in the yard. Pinson's there, and we go to the bottom or the top of the 11th. It's the Reds 2, the Cardinals 2. Yep, the National League answer to Bobby Richardson. So Alex Johnson can do more than hold his own out in right field. He's an 8 and a 7. So Briles maybe won't lose his face. It'll be Robinson, Johnson, and Pinson. Frank is 0 for 4. The ball was juiced that year. So here we go. Nelly deals. Robinson into left field. Back goes Brock for the out. 1 away. Maxville, pitcher spot, and Brock for the Cards in the bottom of the inning. Johnson is 2 for 4. He has doubled, singled, and driven in a run. Get the ice bucket ready for McCarver. Pitch to Johnson. Ground ball, right side base hit. So Johnson grounds one to Johnson. And everyone watching feels powder fresh. Just a sprinkle a day. Here's Vada Pinson. He's 2 for 4. He has singled twice, stolen a base. Briles now will work from the stretch. Both teams 2-9-0. The Reds have left 6 on. The Cardinals 11. 20. I had a 20-inning stream once. So it was a World Series practice game last year between the Nats and the Red Sox. And it went 20 innings. I think it took almost 2 hours. It was a great game. But with modern bullpens, I think I was out there pitching against Al Red Sox fan. Pitch to Pinson. Ball 4. They're going to leave him in to face Gordy Coleman because Coleman hits lefties, but Joe Horner is warming. So runners on first and second, and Briles just doesn't have much. Coleman's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Also grounded into a double play. Up the middle, that's going to drop in front of Flood. Johnson will round third and score. Briles reaches for the hockey mask. And Charlie James will run for Gordy Coleman. And Joe Horner will come in for Nelson Briles. We got ourselves a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. So Joe Horner, the lefty, 4-4 with 15 saves, a 2.59 ERA, 66 innings. The Red fans have passed out again. 52 hits, 5 homers. He's walked 20 and struck out 50. And this is 2/3 of an inning. Come hooker by crook because the pitcher spot's up second. So Cincinnati 3, St. Louis 2. Will they pinch hit for Edwards? They do not. And there's a fly ball right center field. Back goes Flood. He'll make the catch against the wall. Pinson will tag without a throw. When you have a 0% chance, Flood's got an arm, but Pinson's fast, and it's 4-2 Cincinnati. Excuse me for one moment. No, we don't want to do that. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Say hello again, Phantomatic. So Charlie James, the runner on first. Cardenas at the plate. Leo is 1 for 4. And now you get McCool for a second inning. Horner delivers. And there's a little nubber that's going to get down in front of Brock. James will go to third. Cardenas is on first. And now, this might actually work for the Cardinals because now you got to do something with Billy McCool. Why in the world would that be held for supervision? So, you see what you got, Phantomatic? You got the wrench. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I was going to talk about my Patreons. I'll do that after this half inning. So here's Billy McCool. Let's see what they do with him. And Tony Perez is going to pinch hit. Good choice for the Reds. 260, although he doesn't hit lefties well at all. 260, 12 homers, and 47 RBI. Horner deals. Perez into center field. Flood makes the catch to retire the side. Ted, not John Davidson, comes in for the Reds. And as Maxwell comes up to the plate, it's time for me to thank a bunch of people. Al Red Sox fan, Applebolt, Bobby Catalano, Captain Carl, Dale Lonsdale, Baseball Demos, Dave Little, Earl Friedman. Fan-O-Matic, Braves for Life, John Marichich, and Rick O'Connor. Thank you so much for being patrons on my channel. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So let's tell you about Ted Davidson. He is in here to get a save. He went 4-3 in 65 with 1 save and an ERA of 2.23. 68 2/3 innings, 57 hits, 5 homers, 17 walks, and 54 strikeouts. Maxwell hit lefties at a 282 clip. Pitcher spot and Brock. Cardinals need 2. 4-2 Cincinnati. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Left side. Johnson. Out of play. Perez, by the way, stays in the game at first, and he's a 2, which isn't very good. So a ball and 2 strikes to Maxwell, who is 0 for 3. He has walked, scored, and grounded into a double play. Davidson deals. Ball 4. And so Horner will not bat. Oh my God, who do I use here? Dave Ricketts. He hit lefties at a 250 clip. He went 273, a homer, and 14 RBI in 67. He right now is a tying run. Perez and Johnson guard the lines. Davidson deals. Ground ball to Cardenas deep in the hole. Rose for 1 over to first. And they got him. That's 2. So the Cardinals again are down their last out. And you got to bat Lou Brock, who is 0 for 5. Oh my goodness. What a finish to this one. Brock is going to square for the bunt. He gets it down and he gets on. Throw to first and Brock beat it out. Everybody in the ballpark knew that was coming except for Johnny Edwards and Ted Davidson. And so the tying run is at the plate for Flood, who has had himself a monster game. 3 for 5. He has singled twice, doubled, and drove in a run. Oh. The National League answered to lupus. Here's Flood. He's 3 for 5. 2 out. Bottom of the 11th. 4-2 Cincinnati. Davidson deals. Ground ball to Johnson. Over to Perez. And does Flood beat it out? Yes, he does. And so the Champagne in Cincinnati is going to have to wait a bit longer, as now the winning run is at the plate in Cepeda with 2 out in the bottom of the 11th inning. Cepeda hit lefties at a .353 clip. Davidson sweating bullets, 83 degrees now, winds blowing in at 14 from left center. Davidson deals, line drive to right, Robinson hauls it in, and here's to you, Frank Robinson. The Reds love you more than you will know. Ho, ho, ho. The Cardinals don't make the field. The Reds will be the 4 seed in that 60's tournament. They win 4-2 in 11 innings. So Nellie Briles will take the loss. Gibson, 9 innings, 6 hits, a run, it was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 6. Briles, they say he actually did not have bad stuff. An inning and a third, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked and struck out 1. Billy McCool had blown the game. He had blown the save, but gets the win. Maloney, 9 innings, 8 hits. He walked 6 and struck out 8. McCool, 1 inning, 1 hit, and a strikeout. The home run by Javier to save the game. And then Ted Davidson got into a heap of trouble in the 11th, and nobody scored. So there you have it. That was a bunch of fun. And so the Reds will join the 69 Mets, the 62 Giants, and the 63 Dodgers in that 60's tournament. The AL playing game will be between the 67 Red Sox and the 62 Los Angeles Angels from Fenway Park. Date to be determined, but that's the next game up. Here will be the AL playing game. So Appichander suggested the Reds, and the Reds made the field. How about that? That was a heck of a ball game. So next time it'll be the Angels and the Red Sox. You want to watch the football commercial again? Let's do that. Coming to Retro Sports Network, Labor Day weekend. The NFL returns to RSN, presented this year by DigitalDice.com, your home for the best podcast on cards and dice, computer, console, and all things sports gaming. An opening week extravaganza for 86 starts Tuesday, September 3rd at noon from Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Cleveland Browns take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears will get the rings, raise a flag, and hope to keep Jim McMahon upright while the Cleveland Browns start their march to what they hope to be an AFC championship. Thursday live, it's the Denver Broncos and John Elway trying to get to their first Super Bowl. They take on their hated rivals, the Los Angeles Raiders, at noon on Thursday, the actual NFL kickoff day, September 5th. And a Wednesday tape special. The New York Giants begin their hopeful Super Bowl run with a trip to Dallas. And the Cowboys. Can the Cowboys dynasty hang on for one more year, or is this the time that Phil Simms rises and brings the Giants to the Super Bowl? 3 fantastic games, 3 days, all right here on Retro Sports Network, home of the champions, and presented by DigitalDice.com. Okay, so Kurt and I will figure out the field and get the seeds ready, and for that. But yes, so 60 Pirates for sure, 63 Dodgers, and I think we're going to go with the 62 Giants because you got a heavily base. So there you go. Thanks a bunch for watching. I'm Ron Juckett. AFL action returns on Tuesday, and until then, we'll talk to you the next time. Have a great afternoon, everybody.